All right, people. Tom Hankins here, instructor, tutor, consultant, and musician, chief cook, and bottle washer here at the Special Educator Series. Today's episode is going to be on band etiquette, second installment. This one's going to be about membership in a band. Last one that we did was about auditioning. This one's about membership, and there's a couple more, postings to come. Before we get going, there is a fair use disclosure that I'm obligated to show to you that AI can be used in some of the content here when we go to generate it. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying we need to make you aware that it will be used from time to time. Reaching out to us, I'm going to ask you to please like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, contact, support, and contribute to the process as much as you can. And thank you very much ahead of time. If you want to reach out to us, Facebook, X, and Rumble, we are at TSEGRP. YouTube, we're at TSEDGRP. Instagram and LinkedIn, we are at The Special Educator. Our website is tsegrp.org, and email to us is host@tsegrp.org. So, greetings, everybody. I announced in my last installment, but I'm going to keep kind of beating a dead horse in this. I've been a musician for a long time. I've been lead singer, I've been a technician, a bassist, I've done percussion work. The point is, I'm looking to put through a series of these postings that will sort of help either existing bands or bands looking to start out, maybe save you a little bit of time and aggravation, because Lord knows it's not easy out there these days. Okay? So let's get right into this. Oh, by the way, I do have my partner in crime. I do have Louis the Aussie down there by my side, laying down on his bed. He's just kind of going to chill here while I do my thing. Let's get into the PowerPoint presentation. Each of these episodes I post is going to have a PowerPoint presentation that you can reference if you are watching. If not, you can just listen. None of this is terribly difficult. And frankly, I don't really think I'm going to be telling you something you don't already kind of know or suspect. Whether or not you actually do it is a different issue, of course. But getting right over to this, band etiquette for performing musicians. Installment number 2 here is about being in a band or band membership. So the audition was the last one. Let's just assume you've already passed that audition. You're getting into a band. I'm kind of picturing, now at this point, you've got to collaborate with other people on what you're going to be doing and also how you're going to be performing. So first things first. I'm going to go over some basic information. Then I'm going to be talking about 3 general categories: band dynamics and communication, show day best practices, and post-performance behavior and interaction. And then we'll go over some final thoughts before I get this done. I'm going to leave the music on at a very low volume in the background for you. So for the introduction, anytime you're getting together, and I'm talking about, okay, in person is probably more applicable here, but this even goes for if you're going to have meetings via Zoom or whatever you have going on using current technology, even if it's over the phone. Keep things lighthearted, at least to start. When you're getting into this, go into it easy. Don't come in like a sledgehammer with other members and, just be overbearing. Set the tone. Help it, keep it positive and light. It makes it more enjoyable for everybody, just to start off. Also, if you are going to get together, again, more in person here than necessarily on the phone, try to create an inviting atmosphere. You want members to feel comfortable, and as a result, they'll be more able to engage with each other. And when it comes to engagement, interaction with a warm conversational style invites that participation that you're really looking for. And that's going to keep things interactive and moving forward and hopefully very productive. So when you are in a band, I want you to look at it as kind of this family. I mentioned in the last episode that I did, it sometimes gets dysfunctional. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, all groups are kind of like that, whether you look at it as kind of a fraternal group, if it's a bunch of guys, where you look at kind of as a family. I've had different dynamics in different bands, and they're not all the same, but there are some common threads. So Any type of good etiquette, when I say that behavior, the way you carry yourself, the way you interact, you want to be positive and enhance the experience for other members involved as best you can. You don't want to be the fly in the ointment. Sharing personal stories with each other, especially if you're a band that's just kind of starting out and somewhat young, bring your stories together, share personal information, let your guard down a little bit. It's always a good thing that you work together in a dynamic and being personal about it, saying, oh, this happened to me. You might find common threads and you find that bonds are built that way. It's actually very good. And understanding the consequences of, let's just say, bad behavior as well as good behavior will dramatically affect the dynamics. And hopefully, at this point, if you become aware enough, you can avoid some of the conflicts and improve collaboration. Now, when it comes to the first subject about band dynamics, I'm only going to have a few slides here about each thing. So there's not going to be a lot of information to absorb. Disagreements are the one thing that commonly break up bands. Now, disagreements can start over a whole host of different issues. I'll have another episode that I'm going to talk about selecting material. I find a lot of disagreements happen over that. But you want to be professional. And you need to understand that even though this isn't like working at a full-time job, punching in and punching out, you still have to have professional etiquette with being together, when being together. And you need to just have respect for everybody else. Even if you don't agree, you still have to respect each other's opinions and involvement. Now, strategies for conflict resolution are really what we're going to talk about. You want to get positive outcomes and strengthen your relationships amongst the team members. So, conflict resolution in and of itself is nothing that's magical. There's no secret formula to it other than to start with keeping things professional, keeping things friendly, keeping things open and inviting. As soon as things start turning a little bit sour, you'll find that whoever starts with a negative feeling, it snowballs very quickly. So keeping things professional is probably the best advice that I can have. It doesn't mean you have to agree with each other or be happy, but you still have to be professional. No need to do a lot of swearing, a lot of insults, things like that. They are not productive. Keep them off the table. Now, I know it's not easy, but you need to mitigate the disagreements by being respectful. It's not something that is going to be happening all the time, but if you can keep a critical situation from getting above that threshold level where it's destructive to the process, all the power to you. There are a couple of tips you can do. If you've ever taken, I do recommend maybe things about mindfulness. I'm not saying you have to be out there and meditate and do yoga or anything, but just be mindful of things going on around you. Part of the special educator series when it comes to educational stuff for kids and teens and things like that is just being aware. Awareness is one of the things that I dealt with. To be honest with you, I actually have a slide on an episode on awareness from early on in the first phase of doing my material that might prove helpful here. Anyway, next part of this. Creative contributions are where a lot of things come down to having problems as well. Every member's contribution is essential. Maybe not as valuable as others, but each one should be encouraged and should be considered. Sometimes it's pointless. Sometimes it's just dumb. But the point is, throw it up there for consideration and let everybody talk about it. You don't want to shut anybody out. Respecting diverse ideas is really what it comes down to. Everybody has a different perspective, has come from a different background. If you're sitting there thinking somebody else is talking something that's totally irrelevant or trash, still listen to what they say and then come in with your opinion as well. Contribute to it. Don't push people down. And you want to foster collaborative environments. Everybody needs to feel valued. Not everybody has the same role, but everybody has to be a valuable component to the process. This is the toughest one. Basically, knowing when and how to deal with problems in the band. Identifying the right moment is probably the most difficult thing a lot of us will do. Knowing when to address a problem is really going to keep things more harmonious. Probably one of the hardest things to know is when a band member should be potentially let go. Easiest way to say this is you have to pay attention to the body language and the facial expressions and everything else. And the truth of the matter is you can tell when they're starting to sour on what's going on. At that point, you have two options. You can have a heart-to-heart with them, sit down and have a talk and find out where the problems are and try to repair it. If it doesn't look like it's repairable, it is beneficial for everybody to have a professional and respectful parting of the ways. If there are gigs scheduled, if you are the person that is looking to leave the band or the band wants you to leave, either way, it is professional to make sure there's a smooth transition. No cold turkey stuff. That's going to leave anybody else in the band that has gigs they're relying on left out in the dark. They're planning on going to gigs. You can't just up and leave. That's not professional. Similarly, if you're in a band and somebody else, you're looking to have them leave, you need to figure out how to have a replacement before this resource departs. So be mindful of that all the time when problems start to deal with involving the band dynamic falling apart. Effective communication methods, I'd already mentioned being professional. I can't state enough, professional and respectful all the time. Doesn't mean you can't have fun. It doesn't mean you can't be honest, but you got to remember professional and respectful. You want to try and involve techniques that are going to prevent escalation of tensions. I've seen people just stop talking to each other. At that point, nothing is happening. You're at zero productivity. So don't let it come to that. Conflict resolution is a whole nother class, if you will. But I suggest you look at things like that. Again, P&R, professional and respectful, they'll get you a long way without doing a lot of, mindfulness and meditation and things of that sort. I want to move on to show day. Now, this in and of itself is really just something to deal with because one way or the other, once you're in a band, you're looking to have the show day come, whether it's your first show, or a debut area that you've never been to before. This is all going to be very valuable. Sound check. Now, I started out as a technician, sound and lighting tech. And before there were computers that did all this, I had to transcribe lyrics for lead vocalists. So this comes near and dear to me. When it comes to a sound checks, unless you know the room and you've been in there before and you're sound person, be it in the band or somebody else in the band, follow their lead. Just do whatever they ask. It's their job to make sure you sound as good as that they can make you, given the equipment and everything else. So don't make their life more difficult. Each of them has their own way of doing it. I know I do. But again, just follow their direction. Again, being professional during a sound check is going to make things go a lot easier. Don't complain. Try and work through situations with people, and don't make any problematic situations any worse. Issues often do come up. Let the sound technician work with it and help them. Don't yell at them. It doesn't help. Collaborating with the engineers. Now, this can also apply when you're in studio, whether you're on stage or studio. It's still a performance. You need to work with those people. They know what they're doing. They know their equipment. You are there to give a performance, and they are there to help you put forth the best performance. Next, stage presence and audience energy. For those of us that have been out there playing for years, I think we all know that the audience energy, the feedback from having an engaged audience, is worth its weight in gold. Truly, it is a thing of wonder if you can get an audience totally engaged. So your stage presence is part of it. Now I'm getting older, so none of us in these bands are eye candy anymore. So we have to have something else that makes us appealing. It's a little tough the older you get, by the way. Anyway, you want to captivate the audience and try and hold their attention throughout the entire performance. There are some very interesting tips for that, and we'll discuss those in a moment. Connecting with the audience involves their energy, and you have to respond to their energy, typically not the other way around. Too many bands, and again, this is something for another time, the material that they're playing isn't so much a problem so much as it is how they're playing it or when they're playing it during a set that causes issues. Anytime an audience disengages, be mindful, it's that much harder to re-engage them. Once you engage them and you keep them engaged, it's actually easier than to try and reset. You have to be attuned to their reactions and adjust the delivery either by the material you're playing, how loud or soft you're playing it. All those come into a factor. You want to keep people participating. Ultimately, it's the performer's job these days to keep an audience engaged. And I hate to say it, you have to keep them putting money in the pockets of the venue owners and managers. It's really what it comes down to. So it behooves you to keep as many people there for as long as you want, purchasing food, purchasing beverages, libations, anything that helps out the venue that you're performing at. Now, one more slide in this little section here. This is probably one of my weakest points. So I imagine it's a weak point for a lot of other people as well out there. When you're up on stage or even off stage talking to people, your body language, your facial expressions, any nonverbal cues, they're going to play a role in how you are perceived. Whether you like it or not, whether it's fair or not, whether it's even accurate or not, it is going to come through as a factor. If you can use body language in any way, shape, or form to enhance the experience of the audience, it is always good. Now, you're either going to enhance the experience or you're going to detract from it. You want to try and minimize your distractions. Finally, and this is the hardest part, facial expressions. We all make quirky facial expressions while we're performing. Usually we're not mindful of it, and there comes that term, mindfulness. I'm going to suggest that when you are performing, take a video of yourself. I don't care if you set a smartphone or a simple camera up. It doesn't even have to be very great sound quality. You just want to be able to see what the members are doing and how they're interacting. And much like, think about it this way. A lot of sports teams, they review plays on tablets at the sidelines, or they used to look at films, but now they look at videos in practice sessions. Think about the band being like that. You should each evaluate how you appear on stage, not just how you play. You're going to be out there in front of people. All kudos to you, but you got to know what you're doing. Post-performance behavior is sometimes just as important as how you do on stage. Be aware that even though you've stopped playing and you've walked off stage, or even someday you're done performing and you're breaking down for the night, or you're getting ready, you're setting up for the night. As somebody who's a technician and technically minded, I don't like being interrupted when I'm doing stuff, but I'm telling you it's going to happen. So you have a couple of choices here. So let's get going with this. There are two types of people that are going to come up and talk to you and engage with you. Those are just regular audience people. They're not musically inclined per se. They might have an affiliate interest in instruments or PA systems or lighting or whatever you may be happening to do, and they want to talk a little shop. Okay, that's great. They might not be as experienced or knowledgeable as you, but here's the thing. You want to network with other people, especially if they are musicians. Peers and industry professionals can always lead to other opportunities. You may not realize it at the moment, but it could be years down the road. Always collaborate with other musicians. You want to build those relationships. You want to enhance creativity and keep doors open to other projects and experiences. And like I said, this could come down to future opportunities. It is one of those things that you just have to be looking for. Now, whether this is to an audience member, a club or a venue owner or manager, your professionalism and how you conduct yourself during the performance is going to compile a collective image of the band and an ongoing reputation. Your public behavior matters just as much as your behavior in the band, in what I'll call in semi-private. So ultimately, you want to be, I hate the word again, but be mindful. There's that mindfulness thing again, of what is going on, regardless of where you are and at what time. Until you get back in your car and you're on your own, you're essentially being viewed. Sorry, that's just the way it is. Reckless behavior in public, I've seen it. I've seen band members try and open up, almost start fights with patrons. Not good. Don't care who's at fault. It's not good either way. So positive image maintenance is the key here. You want to do what you can to keep yourself accessible, inviting, and always a good experience for those that you work with, especially if they're the ones that are going to be paying you. Now, when it comes to the public, this is one of those things you do have to be aware of. The importance of social media, we can't get away from it. I'm telling you, it's bad. Facebook is almost a necessity these days. If you're in a band or doing something that's performative related, you can't get away from it. I don't like it, but it has to be used. So just be aware of staying in touch with fans. If they're going to leave comments, they're going to stay in touch with you. Make sure to thank them. You want to build a loyal fan base as best you can, and the people that are complimenting you, particularly on social media, are your best assets to work with. Thank them, get them involved, have them spread the word. That's the best you can hope for right now. Engaging strategies. Well, there are some strategies out there that help you engage with the fans. One of the things that I decided to do, very novel idea, is create a master song list that is on a single sheet. And obviously, the more songs you have, the more impressive it is. And I list them in alphabetical order. And those of you that have been to a Three Fat Cats show in the past may have seen me handing out these song lists. And we will actually let the clients, the customers, choose which songs to play off of that list. So it's a hybrid situation. There are no preset song lists or set lists that we use per night, but it also tells us what people want to hear. And then we can modify our song lists, our master song lists from there over time. Ultimately, while you're engaging with the fans, just, again, be professional. I know it sounds like a broken record, but personable, professional is the best way to be. I'd mentioned one other thing. When an audience member comes up to you and they're not a performing musician, I already gave you some tips. They might have some ancillary interest. And I alluded to what would happen, what you should do if there are musicians. Actively engage with them because you want to build stuff. But I don't want you to ever put somebody down if they're less knowledgeable than you. Now, I'm a little bit coy about things. Somebody will say, "Oh, I really like what you do." They say, "Yeah, it's once you know how to do it, or you have that technique, it's no big deal." It's okay to be put offish a little bit, but don't dismiss people. Don't be cocky. Don't dismiss them. It doesn't come off very well. And believe me, I know some I've seen other bands, and there's just band members that are not approachable. They don't come off as friendly. Just saying. Now, I'm going to ask you to submit some questions. Well, if this episode is posted, regardless of where you view it on or where you listen to it on, put forth some thoughts on it. Give some comments. I would love to do follow-up episodes that relate to what you're interested in. So this is where it comes down to when you're answering audience questions. You have to understand that the band etiquette, being very clear about how you're going to conduct yourselves, is crucial to that professional and respectful aura, if you will, about the band. Audience engagement, when you're taking those questions, in this case, I'm going to refer to it offstage, addresses common interests, you share information, and it fosters a positive environment. And if they happen to be actively performing musicians, even better, because you're going to have a chance to see what it's like at other venues. Share information. It's okay. Now, what wouldn't be cool is if you talk about a certain place and you start stealing gigs from other bands. That's not cool, by the way. Talking bad about another band, another thing. Don't do it. Even if somebody in the audience comes up to you and says, oh, we saw so-and-so and we didn't like them. My default answer is this, very simply. I don't care who it is. If you're going to get up on stage and play for somebody, play in front of an audience, you deserve the credit. You get an absolute standard level of kudos and credit from me. Finally, some key issues have to be dealt with. You need to know how to navigate these. One of the common issues that comes up is when you are breaking down and people want to socialize with you. It's after, the band has shut down the PA and everything's going and people are trying to break down, but there's a lot of people at a venue maybe still trying to drink and think it's cool and they want to talk to you. The problem is that they don't know what you have to do or what you have to go through to get out that door. Don't snip at them. Don't be put offish. If you need to, you can ask them something relative to what you're doing. Say, have you ever dealt with all these types of cables and stuff like that? Usually, me, the PA guy, is the one who has the most trouble because there's so many different things I have to do. Not only have to break my own performance equipment down, I have to break down the PA for the band. But just saying. Finally, I'd mentioned this before. Practice mindfulness. Now, again, like I said, I'm not looking to get out there and say, oh, you got to do all these meditation practices and things like that. Just be mindful of your situation. Find ways to improve your appeal to the general audience, if you can. Professional interaction. Always the case, right here. Again, professionalism, respect, keep things productive. That's always a good vibe. Positive band etiquette. Just keep it positive. Teamwork is always enhanced when things are friendly and interactive. And it'll make things far more enjoyable for you. Before I get going, we're at almost 30 minutes here. So we talked a little bit about band dynamics. We talked a little bit about the show day best practices and some post-performance behavior. I'm here to encourage a discussion. So I suggest all of you in the comments section maybe have your own discussions about it on the side as well. Or if you want to reach out to me, the best way simply is to use the direct email, host@tsegrp.org. It will get through to me. I'm the only one that monitors that email. And please, no garbage on there. If you are taking it to the host at tsegrp.com, my responses will not be posted on social media. They will simply be between you and I. Okay, they're not going to be out there for public viewing. Anyway, I want to get through some acknowledgments. Somebody had asked, what bands have I been involved in and what I did was listed the most prevalent bands over the last 20 years, and they include currently Three Fat Cats, the Catbirds, and the Z-Beats. Previously, the Itch when I was in college, Let It Slide when I first moved out here, and Bedrock, probably off and on. I was with them for a few times off and on over the last, say, 20 years that I've been out here. Point is, I have experience being in and out of bands. And I'm hoping that in this continued series of presentations that my advice and my experience will come out. Again, all these postings that I'm doing are here to encourage you to engage with me. Okay, I'm not going to give you all the answers up front, but I just want to have you start thinking about things and then take it off of social media, hopefully, and just do the website, and the direct email to me. I'd appreciate that. Anyway, getting back to things before I let it go. One more time, I am going to say we are in Facebook X and Rumble at TSEGRP, YouTube at TSEDGRP, Instagram and LinkedIn are the Special Educator. Our website is tsegrp.org, and direct email is host@tsegrp.org. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, contact us, support us, and contribute in any way, shape, or form that you can. Thank you very much. Once again, I am Tom Hankins, instructor, tutor, consultant, and musician, chief cook and bottle washer here at the Special Educator. Until next time, I hope that you are safe, doing well. Peace and love, everybody.